Well, hello, good morning to you. This is Cliff from Crew England. Speaks out. How are you all? How's the weather wherever you are? Here in the West Midlands, it is cold, wet, and foggy. Dull and foggy. A really miserable day. So I hope wherever you are that you're getting better weather than what we are here. Now I'm glad that today's title has got your attention. It's worth a shot. I did that purposefully to get your attention. This morning we're going to be talking about better exercises for developing your pectoral muscle group. Now, first we just got to look and analyse exactly what do the pectorals do. What are they responsible for? They're responsible for, along with other muscle groups, triceps and shoulders and others, responsible for flexion and extension of the shoulder and the elbow as the bench press movement. They are involved in adaptation and abduction of the arm. Adduction meaning going across. Horizontal adduction, drawing the arm across the body, like you're giving somebody a bear hug, coming in close, drawing it across from the medial line across the body. Abduction, going away from the body. So, when we remember that, perhaps the coveted bench press actually really isn't the best exercise to pick for pectoral development. Granted, it could be a good exercise as a compound movement. So if you want to have a compound movement for your pectorals, triceps, shoulders, any of the pressing movements are a good option. But what happens if you don't want that? If you really do feel that you want to bring your pectoral muscle group up? I come from a boxing background, and the best way to kind of like describe it is, if you look at tall, lean boxers that predominantly just throw straight punches all the time, they're not going to have very good pectoral development. If you look at a boxer that comes in and swarms you and throws lots of hooks and overhead rights, hook punches and overhead right punches, their development in their pectoral muscles is going to be much, much more advanced than the other type of boxer. And that's just a fact, because a hook punch goes across your body. You follow through. The fist will go over and past your midline. The fist will go past your sternum. It should be. Not excessively, right, but it should be. And that is the action of horizontal adduction, drawing the arm across the body, like in a bear hug. So where am I going with all of this then? I mean, what's the meaning of all this? What am I trying to prove? What point am I trying to prove? There are better ways of horizontal abduction. And it's not just about lying flat on your back and saying, I'll get a couple of dumbbells and away you go. Some of you that do your training will be aware of cable crossovers. And why are they called cable crossovers? Because they do just that. Cable handles cross over. Not excessively, but enough for you to squeeze your pectoral muscle group together. Some of you have even said, oh, you know, I can't develop the inner portion of my pectorals. That is down to genetics. You either can do that, so you get that line right the way up from the sternum, right the way up to where your clavicles meet, your clavicles end, from low to upper, right? Or you won't. The point I'm making is the best exercise for development of the pectoral region, if you're looking isolation exercises, is the horizontal abduction exercise. That can be performed standing, flat on a bench, on an incline bench, you name it. But what if you haven't got the facility of a cable crossover assembly? What then? Well, yeah, that's right, you settle for dumbbells and all that, don't you? But you're cheating yourself. But then you're saying, I can't afford to have a big cable crossover in the house, in the home, in the garage. It would take up all the room. I wouldn't be able to have it. And why would I want something like that just to do that? That one exercise, well, it does other exercises, yes. But why would you want to pay thousands of pounds? Because you need to get a good one. Don't go for the cheaper version because, well, a bunch of rubbish. You know, you're going to be paying thousands of pounds. But we here at II Crew England have got that one covered. You would need to invest in an Alec portable home multi-tube. And what you do is with the press-up stands, you get yourself a pair of ab straps. You know these ab straps that you can attach to a chin-in bar? That's what you get. You get yourself a pair of them and you attach it to the press-up bar stand. You might need, in fact, almost definitely, you would need to get larger carabiners. You can get circular carabiners from any mountaineering hiking shop that are as strong as anything, I can tell you. And you attach these things, these straps, onto the press-up stand. Initially, you'll want to get the movement correct on this one. So I would not, repeat, not advise any resistance added by wearing the Alec shell. Also, I would commence the exercise on your knees rather than fully extended, with your legs fully extended, so your toes are in contact with the floor, as in like a standard push-up. Okay, it is just too intense to start off with. What you're trying to do is eventually get the body level in that press-up position. But for starting initially, begin on your knees. Place your arms in the slings, which are on either side of the press-up bar stands. You want it so your elbows are being supported. Some of these abstract straps are a little bit short. Especially if you've got long arms, they're a little bit short. And we will be bringing out our own version of abstract straps, which is going to counter all that. But ideally, what you want is to have your whole of your forearm supported, specifically at the elbow. You want to get your arms into a 90-degree angle. Your hands are doing nothing. Your hands can be gripping the material, your hands can be open, but you're taking the hands out of the equation. You're taking the triceps out of the equation. You're taking the deltoids out of the equation. But, believe you me, I think it's harder. In fact, I know it's harder. From that starting position where your elbows are bent at 90 degrees by your sides, you just want to release them outwardly, extend them outwardly, as in the similar concentric movement of a pec deck fly. Now I can tell you something for nothing. Even on your knees, you are going to find that it is going to be extremely difficult for you to extend your bent elbows, your bent arms outwardly until you get into a horizontal, your torso is in a horizontal position. You need to make sure that your body, your arms, you've got to go down so you know your arms come out, so you've got that flat position, if you can understand what I mean. It's difficult, I can tell you that, it is difficult. You do that very slowly, over a count of 10 seconds. Without stopping, you then return via horizontal abduction. Okay? Drawing your arms closer and closer and closer, like a massive bear hug, inwardly towards the midline of your body. But here's the thing. You want to go past that and cross them over, or bring them together closely. That movement takes 10 seconds. I just want to talk about something in a minute about scapular positioning and why, but I just want to finish off this part and say to you, you continue in that fashion. 10 seconds on a concentric, like in a pec fly. 10 seconds without stopping, because we want constant tension in that muscle group. 10 seconds coming back inwardly. 20 seconds for one repetition. You continue to do that for 90 seconds. 90 seconds. So if you're doing it, if it's taking 20 seconds for one repetition, right, then you will perform 4. You better perform 4 repetitions. For the last 10 seconds, as you draw your arms back inwardly for number 4, you're coming up to 80 seconds, hold the arms close together and really squeeze for all your work the pectoral muscles as hard as you can for 10 seconds. That is the best of the best pectoral muscle exercise that you can get, and you got that for free. The people will pay blood money to get that knowledge. I've given it to you for free if you're still listening now, which I hope you are. So, you build up as you get stronger from on your knees into a full extended position where you're on your toes like in a standard press-up position. And then you repeat exactly the same thing for 4 reps, each lasting 20 seconds, the same thing. When you get stronger, you can get some blocks and start to get the torso into a level position. Do that gradually. Do it with blocks. Okay? When you get that body level, then you can either go back to on your knees and start the process again, or try with weight resistance. I would go back to on the knees, add weight resistance, go again, doing it, building up until your body's parallel with weight resistance, back to on your knee, add more weight resistance. And you just do those 4 reps. That's known as the super slow method. And it is highly intense. But the thing is, you do not stop the exercise until the last 10 seconds, and you hold it in a strong position and you contract. Because you're doing this slowly, the stretch that you get is mind blowing. And as you come back up and you contract, you'll know. You would just know. You know, even if you don't invest in an press-up stones and gym, fine. You can improvise in other ways. You know, get some scaffold pulling or something like that. I don't know. Rig it up or whatever. But you try it. Now there are some secrets here that will make this exercise extra effective and extra safe. Specifically on the eccentric part, as I've said to you, envisage a pec deck fly, when the arms are going outwardly, flying, not contracting, as opposed to thinking, because your body will, your torso, your body will be lowering, right? that you're pushing. I want you to think that you are pulling yourself down, pulling yourself into that position, okay? Not lowering. Always think of pulling. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to initiate the exercise with the scapula and shoulder blades initially in a neutral position. That will be with your arms by your sides in the 90-degree angle, and you commence the exercise. And what you want to be thinking is from that neutral position that you're pulling as you're going up. You're pulling the hang on a minute, I've said something wrong, haven't I? What's the volume? The object of this exercise is, as you're basically, you need to be keeping the scapula. Let's keep this simple, so I'm confusing myself now. Which is not. You need to be thinking of the exercise, the scapula wrapping around the ribcage. What you want to be avoiding is the scapula pinching together tightly, because that can result in shoulder impingement. So, as you're going forward, as you're contracting in, rather, your scapula is moving round closely, hugging the ribcage, wrapping around the ribcage. As you come back, so as you're coming back, the arms are extending backwards in the eccentric position, right? As you're coming back, they're coming, hugging around the ribcage very slowly, and they're coming back towards the spine, around the thoracic T-spine area into neutral. They sit, the scapula should be sitting between T2 and T7 nicely on your ribcage. Okay? How we can do this is by certain cues, saying, for example, longer and wider through your shoulders. What you want to be doing is you want to be not hiking your shoulders upwards. You want to be pulling your shoulders down and around, down and around. And if you can think of that, when you're doing the exercise, think of pulling your scapula, your shoulder blades around the ribcage during retraction and protraction. Retracting back to a neutral position, not pincing right together, pulling it back round the ribcage, right the way round, and back round again. If you visualise your scapula doing that movement, then you'll be doing the exercise correctly. You'll be keeping yourself safe, and it will be one of the most effective exercises that you can do for pec muscles. So I hope, if you're still listening, you have found this very informative, and give this a go, this exercise a go, and let me know. Okay? Thank you very much for listening and for your time. Have a great day. This is Cliff from II Crew England. Bye for now.